Yo, what's going on, guys? CultofMush back at it with another video, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Just Cause 3 system requirements. Now, if you guys don't know, Just Cause 3 is actually being developed by Avalanche, and they've done a great job with all their PC ports. Just earlier this year, they released Mad Max, and that was a terrific PC version. Also, right now, floating around online, there's two sets of system requirements. There's one that's been posted that's straight from Steam, and there's another set of system requirements that's been posted that somebody got an early copy of the game and they saw the game box, and it has a different set of system requirements, so that is a bit weird. I'll be going over the system requirements on Steam. I'll leave a link for the other set of system requirements if you guys are interested in that. But I expect Just Cause 3 to be a terrific port. Avalanche, like I said, always delivers on the PC front. So let's get right into this with minimum requirements for the CPU. You're looking at an Intel Core i5 2500K 3.3 GHz or an AMD Phenom 2X6 1075T 3 GHz. The i5 2500K, for those of you that bought that CPU, I think it's been like 3 or 4 years at this point. That must have been the best investment of all time because the 2500K is still a baller of a CPU. You can overclock that CPU and compare it to like Skylake CPUs and it still does really well against the latest CPUs. And the Phenom 2X6 is an older 6-core processor, so I figure, i5 as a minimum requirement for a higher end game, that is kind of high. But honestly, in most cases like this that I've noticed when it does recommend an i5 2500K as minimum requirement, if you do have a 2500K and you just overclock it a bit, you'll get great performance in this game if you have a good graphics card. Moving on to recommended CPU, you're looking at an Intel Core i7 3770 3.4 GHz or an AMD FX 8350 4.0 GHz. Now, the biggest thing to note here is that the i7 3770 is a 4-core CPU with hyperthreading, and the FX 8350 is obviously an 8-core CPU. So if you do have more than 4 cores, chances are Just Cause 3 will take advantage of them. That's also showcased by the minimum CPU requirement where you do have a Phenom 2X6 as a minimum requirement as well. But honestly, guys, if you do have something like an i5 2500K or like a 3570K, you overclock it a bit, I see you being just fine with this game at 1080p or even 1440p. For memory requirement, minimum memory is 6GB and then recommended is 8GB of RAM. Honestly, at this point, if you don't have 8GB of RAM and you have a modern gaming PC, that's a really big problem. Guys, it's so freaking cheap these days. You can get 8GB of RAM for like $40, sometimes even cheaper. Just go get it. If you're still on 4GB of RAM, what the hell are you doing? Just upgrade to 8GB. Pretty much every game these days recommends 8GB, so why not just have it? It's so freaking cheap, just go buy it. Alright, now for the most important part, minimum graphics card requirement. You're looking at an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 670 or an AMD Radeon HD 7870, both 2GB video cards. Recommended, you're looking at an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD R9 290. So those are pretty high-end video cards, but the thing about it is that I expect Just Cause 3 to be a really good looking game. It's going to be an open world game with a ton of explosions, so if you're going to max this game out and expect 60 frames per second, you're gonna need pretty damn good hardware. So that's not all too surprising to me. I think my GTX 970 is gonna be fine with this. One last thing that I want to note is that the hard drive requirement is 54GB. Yikes, that is a lot of storage space. So if you're only running a 120GB SSD, I would recommend go pick up a terabyte, or if you have a terabyte and you're running low, maybe pick up a 2TB drive or even a 3TB drive, considering how big some of these games are getting. So guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're picking up Just Cause 3. It seems to be the most anticipated game for the rest of the year. I'm really hyped up for it. I really enjoyed Just Cause 2. Hopefully Just Cause 3 can be more of the same, just make it even better. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.